Top 20 creepiest abandoned buildings around the world. Around the world, you can find abandoned buildings and communities. They get left behind for a whole host of reasons. Perhaps they no longer serve a purpose. Maybe they have encountered an unforeseen natural disaster. Sometimes people abandon buildings because of war. Sometimes it has something rumored to do with the supernatural things.
20.
Oradour-sur-Glane, the Massacred French village. This empty village is a testimony of the cruelty of Nazi weapons, who massacred virtually the entire population of the small rural village in 1944. Approximately 642 people were murdered, including 205 children, in retaliation for local partisan activity. A lot of those murders had been locked up in a local church. Those Nazi soldiers had set the building ablaze and then opened fire on it with the machine gun. There was just one survivor.
19.
Ancient city consumed by the wrath of the gods. In 79 AD, the Roman city of the Pompeii was engulfed in heat up to 480 degrees Fahrenheit and ash up to 20 feet deep when the nearby volcano and the Mount Vesuvius suddenly erupted violently. The city ceased to exist overnight and it was not rediscovered until 1700 years later. Though the ruined city today has still not been fully evacuated, over 1100 bodies have been found, including those of dogs and horses. They were mostly found in small groups of huddled together at the moment of the death. Husbands and wives can be seen holding one another.
18.
The ghost town of Chernobyl. What could be more chilling than an eerie, abandoned buildings? How about the whole abandoned town awash with the deadly radiation? Back in 1986, there was an accident at the local nuclear power plant at Chernobyl, which forced the evacuation of over 120,000 people in the surrounding area. Some have returned to the village initially affected, but large areas including Chernobyl still lie in an exclusion zone due to the high level of radiation. It is thought that the area will not be safe fully until 2065, nearly 80 years after the accident. A most creepy thought indeed.
17.
Wittenoom, the town that has ceased to exist. This Australian town once had a thriving population of around 20,000 population. Its prosperity was based on its highly successful asbestos mine. It was abandoned in 1960s when the danger of asbestos were discovered, though not before an estimated 1,000 of its residents, which is 5% of the population, had died in asbestos-related diseases. The town name has been removed from the official maps and road signs. Today the abandoned mines, town, surrounding areas and the air are all still contaminated with the deadly asbestos dust.
16.
The most burning and Chateau, the Monsogur. This might former fortress, perched high on 4,000-foot high outcrop. It is even said to have once held the Holy Grail in 1243 to 1244 during the religious infighting in the region. The fortress endured a 9-month siege. When it finally surrendered, around 220 of its occupants went rounded up and thrown on a giant bonfire, where they were burned to the death.
15.
The unholy story of Reading Abbey. The ruin of Reading Abbey is situated in the very center of the English town of the Reading. It was founded in 1121 and the height of the bubonic plague. It housed a lot of holy relics evacuated from the church, including a numerous body part of the saints. It was largely destroyed in 1538 by Henry VIII during his dispute with the monasteries, having the abbot of the abbey hanged, drawn, and quartered.
14.
This giant multi-level luxury hotel was started in the 1970s but was never completed. Its empty shell can still be found perched on a hill dominating the local landscape near the famous Montezuma Castle. Surprisingly, little is known about its true history as its past is shrouded in mysteries. The construction was never resumed and the abandoned site is said to be haunted by the mysterious light possibly lost souls released by the institution of the hostel construction.
13.
The cursed fortress of Bangor. It is claimed that the visitor to this abandoned building but well-preserved fortress from 17th of Finn get an uneasy and sinister feeling when they wander around it. It does indeed have a long association with the bloody conflict and devastating famines. There is a legend that centuries ago, a local princess of the great beauty spurned the advances of the dark sorcerer, who in retaliation cursed the fortress for all eternity. Even today, people are forbidden to go into the fortress at night because of the evil that supposedly dwell there still.
12.
Holy Cross Sanatorium, the gateway to hell. When this sanatorium opened in 1923, it was said to be one of the finest in America. It was run by the Sisters of the Cross, a Roman Catholic order. This huge mental hospital in the middle of nowhere specialized in helping troubled patients recover. But it was used only for a short time. In 1938, it was closed because of financial problem. The next year, a large part of the site was burned down by an unexplained fire. Since then, there was been rumor of occult activity there, including animal sacrifice.
11.
The Sauer Castle. Despite this name, this grand building is actually a mansion that a German immigrant built for himself and his family in 1871. It has a tragic history with the descendant committing suicide by shooting himself. A young woman hanged herself there when she thought wrongly that her husband had been killed in American Civil War. The site soon became linked to the paranormal, and there were stories of people hearing voices as well as objects moving of there soon occurred, though there is still little evidence that any of this is true.
10.
The former state mental hospital on the Plage Island. This tiny island just off the Italian coast could well be termed place as it has such a gruesome and disturbing history. It was used in 18th century as quarantine station for those suffering from the plague. In fact, most who were sent there were simply left to die in the thousands, neglected and forgotten by societies. It is believed that over just a few decades, well over 100,000 people died and were buried all over the island in various massive pits.
9.
Chateau de Miranda, the place of screaming souls. It's hard to believe that this was one of the most beautiful mansions in the Europe. This 19th century Gothic style mansion had at its center a ground 183-foot clock tower which, due to the high running cost and structure problem, was abandoned in 1991. It had a morbid past. The architect who designed it mysteriously died before it was completed. It was also later badly damaged by an unexplained fire.
8.
The Hellfire Club Lodge. In the 1700s, a group of wealthy and powerful men called the Hellfire Club built a hunting lodge. It was more likely a very large house. It quickly gained a reputation for satanic orgies, black masses, and site for animal and human sacrifice. Legend has it that when they could meet, they always set up a spear chair in case the devil wanted to join them that night. Then in 1749 there was a mysterious fire at the lodge and the club moved. The lodge quickly fell into disrepair and is now a ruin. So some says that the structure is haunted by the giant black cat.
7.
Gobekli Tepe, the mystery site and the dawn of the history. This is one of the oldest human-made structure ever discovered. It is around 12,000 years old. Despite its importance, we know virtually nothing about this site. The people who built it are the purpose served. It is thought that their job is to protect the deceased, though no graves have ever been found at the site. There are also stone rooms of more than one level, which is an amazing innovation for the era.
6.
The Cost of RAF Montrose. This disused aerodrome was the first of its type in the UK and was operational in 1913 up until 1952. In its early days, it was used as a pilot training facility. Its reputation for accident was so bad that it was said there was a crash every day and funeral every week at the base. Just months after it opened, Flight Lieutenant Desmond Arthur mysteriously died when his aircraft broke off while flying over the base. His dead body was found 500 feet away from the wreckage of his plane. Ever since then, there have been dozens of sightings of his ghost surrounding the base.
5,
Aerodrosan Castle, the Devil Comet. This ruined castle on the west of the coast of the Scotland fell into disuse in 17th century and was partially demolished. Legend has it that it was destroyed when it was attacked by the devil. Apparently, this attack was in the revenge for the owner of the castle, not giving the devil his soul, as previously agreed, for granting him magical power.
4,
Folkestone, the Cold War missile base of the test and destruction. This former ICBM missile site was decommissioned after the collapse of Soviet Union in 1991. It then lay abandoned until just recently when it was restored and opened Cold War Museum.
3,
El Dorado, the city of the cold. El Dorado is said to be the lost South American city that was fabulously rich. Some legends even say it was literally made of gold. Despite many expeditions over centuries to try to and find it, no one has yet succeeded. Recently, evidence shows this city may well have existed. Its disappearance occurred several centuries ago in the remote region of North Brazil.
2,
The disappeared people of the Montezuma Castle. Though known as Montezuma Castle, it is in fact a group of houses built on the side of the cliff. They date back over 600 years. What is so creepy that the 50 or so people Indian tribe that lived there one day in around 1425 simply just up and left, leaving behind most of the procession. It was said that even food was left uneaten on the table. Their disappearance was not discovered for centuries as the spot is secured and well hidden. Although it appeared that they left in a hurry, no one knows why they left or where they went.
1,
Monsoon Fortress, the ghostly spectre of the World War II. Like invading giant metallic alien tripod, this relic from World War II loom out of the water at the mouth of the Thames estuaries near London. There was an army Monsoon Fortress, and their purpose was to spot and fire a German bomber. This fort had garrison of over 400 men, were nearly 80 feet tall. They were decommissioned in 1950. Several still remain, and they were definitely weird and creepy sight. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon to get latest videos every Monday to Friday. Stay safe and stay blessed.